The majority of this memory that I have is of a time immediately preceding this human life where I had taken a long break after previous incarnations. And after taking a long break, I remember this guide coming to me while I was resting, so to speak. I was in this realm of gold, and I was full of freedom and joy and bliss. But this guide coming to me and occasionally asking, "Are you ready to go back yet? Are you ready to go back yet?" And just putting him off for a while, and eventually saying, "Okay, I'm ready." I accepted the veil. The veil is just a word, but it is the constraints in consciousness space that we agree to adopt in order to have the physical experience. And it's very hard to explain or describe, but it feels like, at least for me, it felt like I like to describe it like an amplifier that produces a pitch, like a tone, like a vibration. And then when you accept the veil, it's like a diving deep down, 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 and having your true being obscured, and that pitch just dropping down drastically, like, "Ew." And once you get to the bottom, keep turning it down, and then turn it down some more, and then more, and keep going, and then turn it down some more. That's how it felt to come all the way down to this physical vantage point. I knew that each physical lifetime was like a vibrational vantage point that we could arrive to, and this one was very low vibration, very dark, and I really immediately resisted the feeling of not remembering all of who I really was and feeling cut off from my true nature. I felt like I had lost everything that I am. And so I immediately responded in fear in this life, and I was still in the womb at this point. I had not been born yet. But I summoned my might and I smote the veil. I fought my way out. And in this life review, I knew that I had affected the mother in a very negative way. I had heaped sorrow on her, and not only on her, but on hundreds of other people that would be and have been negatively impacted by the mother. I know there was a moment to say yes. I don't remember that moment, but I do remember then being in like a waiting area and waiting to begin, and then this guide coming to me and being like, "Go now," like very suddenly, like grabbing my attention, like, "Now's the time, you got to get on Earth time now, buddy." Like, move it. And then this guide coming to me and being like, "Go now," like very suddenly, like grabbing my attention, like, "Now's the time, you got to get on Earth time now, buddy." Like, move it. And then being with these guides that I can only describe as technicians or tinkerers. They were very mechanical in nature. And they do this thing where they like match you with the life, like the spirit, the soul has certain qualities, like a certain nature to its essence, and the life has certain context and things going on with it in the body. And they do this thing where they make it all fit so that the veil is personal for you. I saw what looked like a huge pit leading down. And they asked me one last time, "Are you sure? Like, are you sure you want to do this? Because once you say yes here, you're in for the ride." There's no getting out of the roller coaster, once you say yes here. And I agreed. And then I remember the veil coming over me once again. And once again, feeling this incredible descent, this incredible drop in vibration, and having my knowing be cut off, and like feeling like everything that I was disappearing, and all my connectedness feeling like it was vanishing, and arriving to this place that just felt so dark and alone and empty and dense. This time I just tried not to fight it because I knew that I had failed the previous time by rejecting it. So I just said, "Okay, just let go, surrender your control, and just let the veil do what it will do." And so that happened. And I remember sending one message back to the technicians. Did it take? Did the veil take? And they sent one message back. Yes, it took. And I was happy and relieved that I had made it. I had made it here. So then I was here for a while, and then after a while, I said, you know what? I'm not doing this. Like, this is so dark. This is so low vibration. I am not myself. I'm not tolerating this. I'm not doing this. So once again, I began to muster my might to fight my way out. And as I did that, this most beautiful moment happened for me that's very precious to me, where what I can only describe as the great spirit of source, God, whatever word we want to use, came to me and showed me, released me back out for a moment and showed me all of what I was. I felt all of the stars and the universe within me. And I felt the joy and the bliss of being. And I felt the bliss of the sun. I felt our sun churning, and how the very churning of the sun was full of bliss. And the spirit said to me, this is still what you are. You can never not be this. So that calmed me a lot. It really was like, oh, that's wonderful. That's what that's still what I am. Oh, okay, that's okay. And so I surrendered.